Hey there folks, I am back at the whiteboard broadcasting from an undisclosed location in which I am definitely not a hostage. So what we're going to be talking about today is training for the rep event in Strongman. This is something very unique to the sport. You do see it a little bit in CrossFit, but nevertheless Strongman does it better. So let's talk a little bit about how we train for the rep event. Step one, what we want to do is assess where we are at with regard to the competition weight. Ideally, we either want to do a dry run at competition weight, or what we can do is see what the competition weight is versus our 1 rep max on the given lift. So let's say that it's a 200-pound log and your max on the log is 200 pounds. That puts it in that 90 to 100% or 0 to 3 rep range. So that's where we're going to kind of call that the danger zone. Now let's say it's 75 to 85% of your 1 rep max, or if you do a dry run, you get somewhere between 4 and 8 reps. We want to take a mixed approach. Now, in the event that the competition weight is sub 70% or something you can get 10 or more reps with on a dry run, that means we're going to treat this as capacity. So let's go over that. So if you are in that danger zone where you're only good for maybe 0 to 3 reps, you want to treat that event as a 1 rep max event. So you want to use a protocol entirely dedicated towards building your limit strength in it. Now, if you're in that mixed range where 4 to 8 reps, give or take, we want to use a varied approach, and I'll go over that in the example section. And then last but not least, if you are able of getting 10 or more reps, this is going to be more about your capacity, speed, endurance, flow state, getting efficient. So let's go over some examples here. Again, if we're referring to a mixed approach for the ground to overhead, so let's say in the 200-pound log, you were able to get 4 reps in training, and we had a 12-week cycle here. Weeks 1 through 3, what we want to do is somewhere in the 60 to 70% range. We want to do a step loading approach, something like 3 sets of 8, 4 sets of 7, 5 sets of 6 across those first 3 weeks. Then in weeks 4 through 6, what we want to do here is, depending on whether it's a clean each rep or press away, in those next 3 weeks, I'd either do an every minute on the minute approach or a wave loading approach. And the reason why is, if it's clean each rep, what I want to do here is on those every minute on the minutes, I want to really build that skill acquisition, get you used to taking it from the ground every single time. That really helps peak the strength for it. Whereas if it's press away, I find wave loading is excellent for improving the overhead lift, especially if you are someone who uses a push jerk style technique. Reason why is it lets you get some high threshold work in, plenty of volume, but it's not going to crush you underneath. Then in weeks 7 through 9, we're going to up the intensity. Probably want you working somewhere around the 75 to 85% range, and we want to do rest pause work. So what that is, for example, you're going to take your weight, clean it up, press away however many good reps you can, set it down, rest for 20 seconds, pick it back up, rep away, or clean and press each rep, rest for 20 seconds. Either way, the rest pause is there to help you build that work capacity. As in the last 3 weeks, we move towards timed sets that should be at or above competition weight based off of your progression. So that's our mixed approach on a ground to overhead. Now, let's say the next event, the deadlift, and it's a capacity deadlift, in that you're able to hit more than 10 reps already in your dry run of the event. What I would do here is, for the first 3 weeks, we do something like 2 sets of 20. Again, we're probably working in that 60 to 70% range. And this is just to build your rep tolerance and help you learn how to get more efficient, how to cycle those reps in such a way that you're not expending a ton of energy on them. Then in weeks 4 to 6, we're going to add a little more weight. We're going to do 2 sets of 15, weeks 7 to 9, 2 to 3 sets of 10, and then weeks 10 through 12, we're going to be at or above competition weight for timed sets. If you find that you're flying through it, something I like to do here is I'll actually train as if I'm doing the weight class above mine. I'm doing this with one of my gals right now on the circus dumbbell, and it's been treating her really well. So that's an approach for capacity, because again, all we're really trying to do here is build your work capacity, your cardiovascular specific to the movement, and get you in that flow state so you're not spending a lot of energy on every rep. Then last but not least, danger zone, and we're going to have this for a loading event. So again, in the danger zone, what we're doing is we're training it as a 1 rep max. Now, for something like a loading event or a ground to overhead, there's a massive skill element here, so I like to focus on singles. This could also probably work really nicely for your deadlift. So week 1, 15 singles at about 75% of your 1 RM. Week 2, 15 singles, 80%. Week 3, 12 singles at 82.5%. Week 4, 12 singles at 85%. Week 5, 10 singles at 90%. Week 6, 10 singles at 94%. Week 7, 8 singles at 97%. And then in week 8, we're going to aim for 6 singles at 102%. Week 9, 5 singles at 105%. Now, the reason we're going above this, the idea here is you're going to hopefully be able to set a new 1 RM by this time and build a little bit of rep capacity and some confidence. because you're doing a weight that was in the danger zone, psychologically I find this highly beneficial if you can touch something above comp weight in training, because then going into the show you're thinking to yourself, okay, cool, I was able to add X, Y, or Z amount of pounds to my load, to my deadlift, to my ground to overhead. So that way, again, it's just a head game, so going into the show, you're feeling better. Now, maybe you're not doing strongman. For a power building application, something like this capacity approach would be really great. Let's say you want to do the NFL combine approach, right? The 225 for max reps. Something like this could be very beneficial for you, starting again in that 60 to 70% range here, and then over the weeks adding 2 to 3%. So anyways, based off of your strength levels and kind of where you're at, this is how you approach the Strongman 4 reps event. I hope you found this useful. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments section. As always, I'm going to create an infographic carousel to go with this on Instagram, which is amplified.training. Still not able to put links in my description box. Hopefully that answers any questions, gets you sorted out, and I'd really love to see my family again. So in that case, if we can get this channel to, let's say, 20 subscribers, maybe I'll see the light of day again.